And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a kids game from IELLO called Wendigo. Now this game, from the Masked Scorpion design group, is a game in which players are all at camp telling spooky stories, and a Wendigo is stealing kids away. It's really kind of frightening if you think about it, but IELLO does a good job here with this whole, it's scary, but not too scary. I mean, the Wendigo, which I don't think most kids even use. Don't they use like a abominable snowman or ghost or whatever? But anyway, the Wendigo doesn't look that bad. Besides, the Wendigo is actually this person, or maybe not. This is a one versus many game where one person is playing the Wendigo player. Everyone else is trying to use their powers of observation to stop the Wendigo. The game comes with 2 stacks of tiles. Both of these have the exact same amount of, there's different scouts. The scouts are similar. They have different genders, they have different body types, they have different hats, they might be carrying a trumpet or a bugle, or they might not be, but there's all different types of them, and the exact same types are on both of these. So what you're going to do is you're going to place these tiles all over the table. And so we're going to place them there so you can see all the different tiles. All right, now that all the tiles are on the table, the Wendigo player is, everyone is going to close their eyes, and the Wendigo player is going to draw a tile from here randomly. This tile is going to match one of the tiles on the table exactly. So it's this girl here. See, they're there, and he's going to replace that. Everyone will then turn around, unclose their eyes, and they're going to get to look at the table for 45 seconds. Use a sand timer, and players are just basically memorizing everything. When they're done, when the time is up, the Wendigo player is going to tell the other players, close your eyes. They will close their eyes, and then the Wendigo player is going to take the Wendigo and switch it with one of the other tiles. This tile has now been captured by the Wendigo. Now the players will open their eyes, and they are all going to pick together which tile they think is the Wendigo, which one the Wendigo has gotten, because the Wendigo is no longer here, it's moved. And so they're going to guess. So they say, it's this one. And we're like, no. All right. And so if the Wendigo can successfully make them guess wrong 5 times in a row, then the players win. Now you might think this is pretty easy. So let me put that tile back there for you. We'll put these tiles like this. Now I'm going to do this. So what you should do here is I'm going to quickly pause the video and put out the Wendigo. Okay, so one of these tiles is the Wendigo. So now you can pause the video and look at all these tiles for 45 seconds, and then I'm going to capture one. So go ahead and do that now. All right, so you've unpaused it, and we're back. And now you close your eyes, and I'm going to change one again. Here we go. Now you probably have figured out which one it is. Why? Because if you're watching the video, you've seen one thing shift because you can see it blink, even if you're not trying to look for it. Now, if you weren't, you'll know the Wendigo is here. She's the one who moved. But in real life, this is much more difficult. The more people, of course, you can say, you look at these tiles, I'll look at those tiles, I look at these tiles. And if players find the Wendigo, then they've won. And that's how you play. This game is proportionately easy based on the number of players. The more players who play the game, and it says up to 6 here, I mean technically you could play with more than that, but the more players who are playing, the harder it is for the Wendigo player. And sometimes the game will end because I might just say, I'm going to stare at those 4 tiles and hope that's one of the tiles he moves. And then it is. Gotcha. But the game does teach powers of observation. Like I said, the different scouts, they have this way where they look similar, right? They're not exactly the same. Some of them have bug eyes, some of them have happy eyes. And when they're all on the table, it's not so easy to tell which one is which. By the way, tiles, good quality. And the whole thing has, again, that spooky feeling to it, but not too spooky. So overall, this is a fun game to play. It's kind of an activity where you play, you're like, okay, let me be the Wendigo. Maybe this time I'll be able to hide from people. And as a two-player game, it's really hard for the non-Wendigo player, for the camper player, because that's a lot of tiles to watch at one time. And as the Wendigo player, it's harder to play with 6 players because there's 5 people trying to figure it out. But I think for the most part, maybe 3 or 4 players is that sweet spot where there's 2 or 3 campers all trying to figure out which one's moved. And my kids just really enjoyed this game. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed being a Wendigo, although it was hard trying to think, okay, I'm going to move to where a camper is that looks similar to me in many regards. That makes sense. And then try not to move stuff too much so they can see exactly which one, not figure out which one's moved. And every once in a while I play and one of the little kids will be like, it's right there. I know it's that one. I'd be like, how do they know? But many times they're sitting there going, did that one move? I think that one wasn't there before. I'm not sure. So it's more of an activity, I think, than a game, especially for the Wendigo player. Once you play this game a while, the Wendigo player is going to lose all the time. But still entertaining and fun. And of course, you could always lower the number of tiles that the Wendigo player needs to flip over. So either way, a great semi-spooky game for kids, Wendigo. Dice Tower Judgment approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.
Yeah?